welcome the arrival of our keynote speaker. And he is arriving shortly. So I'm sure everybody's very excited about this, right? Is everybody excited? Yes. It's actually my first time to see him live.
Despite his busy schedule, still has time to spend with us.
And in just a short while, we are going to be asking you to please, stand because he will be arriving. Announcing the arrival of the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tapo. Madilim na kahapon.
And to introduce to us our keynote speaker, let's call Governor Igot. Governor Igot.
Sa piling mo,
to introduce our keynote speaker, Governor Igot.
Yes, so we'd like to call on Governor Romeo Igot of the Greater Manila region to please introduce our president. He is our keynote speaker.
Distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Kindly sit down. Thank you. Hindi tayo sanay, Presidente, you also have your own podium. Small time. Attorney Rosario Reyes, Sitias Reyes, the National President, IBP. Attorney Romeo Igot, Governor of Greater Manila, IBP. Attorney Felipe Igargo, President, Quezon City Chapter IBP, Attorney Raul Landicho, President Manila 1 IBP, Attorney Alvin Cunyada, President Manila IBP, Attorney Norman Versosa, President Manila 3 IBP, Attorney Rohel Wong, President Manila 4 IBP, Yusek Erection Balmes, Department of Justice, members of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, fellow workers in government, my beloved countrymen. I'd like to talk about governance and the heartaches and, of course, the downside of just being president. It is not that I am not happy. What motivated me to run was simply my sense of patriotism, for the simple reason that at that time, the issues that were really critical to the country were never brought to the fore before the national arena. And I was thinking that if somebody won't do it, then Mindanao could probably be a fractured island, if not totally lost from the rest of the Republic. That was one, and if you remember, nobody was really talking about it, about the issues, how serious it is, and how wasteful it is to the lives of so many Christians and Moro people. Mahirap po kasi parang nakalimutan. It was done about good governance. Thank you. Guwapa, no? And about infrastructures. But the real meat of the matter for us was really our survival in Mindanao. You have to understand that in 1521, when Magellan landed in Leyte, Islam was already thriving as a religion for the whole island of Mindanao. And therefore, in their conquest and everywhere, the Spaniards, of course, comes with the territory, massacred there and massacred here. And maybe the Visayans and the guys from Luzon were not so imbued kasi medyo malayo eh. It was not a contiguous place like Mindanao. Easy to travel and easy to conquer. But along the years, the Spanish tried, and the most that they could do was to build that fourth pillar in Zamboanga. But more than that, they were not able to enter or traverse the entire yung tinainga tawag ng bibitoka ng Mindanao. And it continued with the Americans, but more forcefully this time because aside from the cannons noon ng mga, well, the natives never had any gunpowder. So the first time they heard the cannons, of course, it really drove them crazy and supplicate in surrender. But not in Mindanao, because I said Islam was already spreading fast into the islands. Kaya hindi makukuha yung Mindanao because there was a post. May poste sila. And that is Islam. So they fought the Spaniards, they resisted the Americans, and until now, they are fighting us. It is the same mother lode. Kung gamito mo yung kay Trump, the mother lode is really the hatred that was created because in a war, in a rebellion, in putting down sedition, you have to kill people. In Mindanao particularly, not really to offend any conquering, but there were lots of killing and massacres. And this has contributed to the old age problem of hatred. And so it is not really entirely correct to say when you have this picture depicting the bodies of the Moro people in one pit, all naked, and lumped together, men, women, and children. And they would say, oh, wala na yan, Duterte. And even the commentators in Manila, easy to, wala na yan. That's 1 century ago. Why bring it up with this dead? It never died. And that is why, pati tayo, how many years after the Americans left, it's not a problem of territory and ang hindi nila medyo siguro alam, it is the strong sense of nationalism of their old empire, the ruling dynasty noon sa Malaysian, the Malay race was the Sri Visayas. And Mindanao was part of the Sri Visayas Empire. Para silang na-conquer at separated from their motherland. That is the story. It is not as simple as a rebellion there, as the bandit here, as the drug lords, and they abound. All forms of lawlessness, even among officials. Na kayong mga Moro dito, if you're around, do not begrudge me. Because you're not the only one na Moro. My lola was in Maranao. My grandfather, Chinese. So, wag kayong maghinakit kung sabihin ko na kung ano ang totoo sa harap ng ating kapwa Pilipino. There's only one thing there, it's lawlessness. And I have to, or I had to decide to call in the military for the simple reason that I am short of warm bodies. Kulang yung PNP 130, and I take care of all the islands, 7,000 islands comprising the Philippines. I had to. Kulang even in the matter of just being there for punitive police action. Pero kung sabihin mo talaga, prangkahan ko kayo, that my burning desire would be really to be president, I'm telling you now, God is there. Allah. Hindi ho. And if Congress can craft a law of a federal structure within 2 years, and that they said they would provide for a strong presidency, and I would agree with it, you will have my resignation right away. I give you my word. If I think that I am no longer necessary, I will not stay or tarry a moment. Magkaintindihan ho sa tasaran. I am old. I never dreamed to be the president. Well, ang ambisyon ko sa boy, small time ako. I'm just a mayor of a little city down south. I never dreamed to be a president or a higher calling more than just the mayor. Humbly, I would say, even buhay pa naman sila lahat. Ramos wanted to take me in. And IDLG, right after he won, so with Arroyo, and so with Estrada, buhay pa yan sila. Pati si Nonoy, Ochoa, on the day of his oath-taking, Ochoa and I were talking, and he was asking me if I could help, kung makatulong ka sa amin. Sabi ko, I'm not cut for that kind of, hindi ako national player. I'd rather just stay here, and I'm counting the years. And had I not been able also to convince Inday to run, I would not be president now. Yun talaga ang totoo. Alam ng taga Davao yan. I was not ready to let go of Mindanao because of the problem of Mindanao. Baka hindi na makatulong kasi kung tatakbo ka ng presidente, wala ka naman pera, wala akong machinery. I only had 3 governors. Aimee, Governor Abet of Garcia sa Bataan, and a lady governor sa Mindanao. Wala nga akong barangay captain isa dito. And so that was really what was playing in my mind. That even if I get too ambitious, tapos natalo, and I was worried about my city. Kasi inalagaan ko yun pinalaki ko. Of course, I was very strict. And of course, I made threats. Of course, I intimidated people, mostly criminals. But that never happened to me with the other politicians in my place. It was all saliva. But yung criminal, talagang, when I was made the favorite whipping boy of the human rights community. Good. You have your duty, I have mine. we were all lawyers at one time. I was also defending a client, securing to him all of his constitutional rights. But when I became mayor, I had to take care of the community. At noong na-presidente ako, I used the same threats. Yung nanghimago dito sa Maynila and the cultured people, sinabi ko, putang ina kayo, pag hindi kayo umalis ng Davao, if you continue to play drugs, I will kill you. Sinabi ko sa mga kidnapper, if you do not leave Davao, by the time I take my oath of office, I will kill you pag makita kita. What's wrong with this threat? Uncultured, unstatesman. Is it wrong to threaten criminals? Give me a law which says I cannot threaten to kill bad people. And when I say, do not destroy my country because I will kill you. Do not rob us of the next generation because we need them for this republic to continue. And I will kill you. Kung hindi pa naman klaro yan. Was in Davao and same here. And now, alam mo sa totoo lang, I'd like to host a dinner for lahat ng human rights and the bleeding hearts. I will tell them, I will commission you, I'll appoint you officially, presidential advisors, and I will raise you to the level of a cabinet member. You prepare a plan. At saka yung mga military na who do not agree with me because they think that I'm closing my ties with America. Ano kasi mga sundalo natin, most of them talagang nag-schooling yan right after in their days along the career. Pupunta ng Amerika yan kasi nag-aral yan doon. And some of them really, well, fundamentally nothing because police work. Just my tirades against America. So, if you think that you can help, sabihin mo sa akin, because I will appoint you a group of presidential advisors with a cabinet position or without a portfolio, but the rank of a cabinet. And I will follow your instruction to a T. Kayong ayaw sa akin, madali yan. And if the military or the police thinks that I do not, no need for a coup d'etat. God, you are wasting your bullet. Go to Malacanang, we'll have coffee, then I will myself will swear you to run this republic and solve the problem. Walang problema. The next year, there will be mass demonstration. For all I care. Wala akong illusions. Do not give me a reason to go out because you might get your wish. Ano, pagka-presidente, ito pala. And I crossed the river at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and last night went back less stressed. Araw-araw yan, ha? Kung gano'n naman ang trabaho ibigay mo sa akin, I can only endure that much. Pagdating ko doon, lahat ng department, may folder yan. So, that is the work for the day. And I read it until morning time, making marginal notes, disapproving. And that is it. I do not allow yung mga financial punta doon mag-courtesy ko. You want a project, go to Tugade. If you have some things, go to Yasay. Kaya ako, I live in a cloistered room, which I am not really used to. And maybe just in my mind, I'd be frank, kasi it's a live telecast, that I think that I deserve a little rest. I've been a prosecutor for 10 years. I did trial work for 8 years. And then I became mayor for 23 years sa Davao. One term with Congress and another term, 4 years, being the vice mayor of my daughter, yung may anak ako, yung nanontok ng sirip. Yan. So, litas kasi meron. Next year is certain financier, no, yaman na babae who married a black and is now the millionaire. And she's planning to do massive demonstration. All those who are of this Western persuasion, kung believe kayo sa Amerika, kung tignan ninyo nagkautang kayo ng loob, please join. And hindi na kailangan magkudita-kudita. Ibigay ko siya, I myself will swear you sa Malacanang that this, and I want to do, these are the new rulers of the Republic and they will run the country. Fine. Wala tayong problema. Karami kong kaibigan ng military pati police. Yung iba, sinakripisyo ko pa. They were my friends. But you know, I had to fire them because ako, magka-diferensya na tayo. Magkamali ka na. Except basta bayan. Hindi ka talaga papalusutin. But if somebody now, at this moment in time, sa buhay ko, I'm 72 years old. Do not ask me if I am sick. Every 72 years old in this planet is sick. But that would be a very silly question. Well, you know, sometimes you try to deny and say, how's your health? And one say, oh, I'm fine. Pero deep down, alam mo, bulador ka. Kung meron ako, meron ka rin. And the greatest, maybe, just maybe, I don't know, but the greatest sa tingin ko that's a loss for a man to ask is, can you still make it with a lady? That is a very hurting question. Because with it not for itong makers ng company ng Blue Pill, kung wala na yan, wala na. Then it's time to go. Really. May pag wala na akong sabi right after the presidency, if I think or if you want to remove me, fine. Then I'll just go to the forest. Meron akong hunting lodge doon. Maraming alimatok doon yung linta. I'll just spend my days there praying. Ako naman, sa totoo lang, I do not believe in religion. I've never stopped believing in it. I believe in God. Pero yung religion, wala na yan sa akin. And I don't know if the God that I am embracing is the same as your God. Ngayon makapaniwala kasi for all of my little belief in life. at the end of my existentialism, at the end of my earthly, it is really a planet which is full of agony and horror and everything. And you think, where is God? I could probably swallow a beautiful mutya being raped and ravished, but I can never accept a 1 month, 18 months, 1 year child being raped and killed. Now you know why. So those are the things, sabi ko nga which are totally unacceptable to me. As a matter of belief in life. But sometimes it can always go wrong. So I do not confess here and say that I'm the pinakamalinis ako na tao. No, of course not. I would be lying to my teeth. But ako, I tried my best. Itong druga. General Santiago, 3 years ago, made some projections or gave us a figure of 3 million Filipino addicts sa drugs. Sa panahon ko, when I was mayor, I was strict. And so people died. People went out of Davao and made my city safe. And that's why Davao grew, and it outsmarted everybody by having a growth rate of 4, then 5, then 6. That is hard to achieve in an island full of violence and explosion. And yet we made it. And the last bloods, did it affect us? No. Because why? Because I told them it's coming. I'm in the second chapter of my speech. I'm about to end it. Basta kami, survival of the fittest. And because of my hard stand, well, if you do not want to follow the law, then follow the Bible. Kasi sabi ko, umalis kayo, huwag kayong magbinta. Sinisira ninyo ang mga anak namin. Yan ang batas. Ang batas nagsabi, bawal yan at makukulong ka. No, kung ayaw mong sundin yung batas, susunod tayo sa Bible. Anong sabi ng Bible? An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Simply means a life for a life. Anong gusto? We have to live by certain rules. Hindi mo lang masabi iyo lang. It could not be your own philosophical theory about. Ngayon, ako ang presidente. Gusto lang, tanggalin ako. Di tanggalin ninyo ako. Ay, andyan yung congressman, nakikinig sila ngayon. Go ahead, be my guest. All that I need is a statement that you remove me because I was doing my duty, period. If hindi na sabihin mo, mali ang pagka-diskarte mo, then how do you solve the problem? So I go back now to the set of presidential advisor. It could include the police. How? 3 million. Panahon ni General Santiago. In my time, when I became mayor, first day, it began to squeeze everybody. Then, it was an appalling sight even for a hardened mayor like me. Na pumapatay talaga ng tao na makita ko. Hundreds of thousands surrendering, all users and pushers. Because when you are a user, you have to push. Unless you are part of the oligarchs here in this country running the show for everybody and raking all the money and profits. Hindi mo kailangan. Pero kung ganyan ang bagay, you have to push You have to connect because he will finance your monkey, and this another guy with another victim also to take care of his monkey when the urge of shabu is there. So, wag mo na lang yan because they are still surrendering. And now we are hitting 800 plus during my time. Wag mo na yan kasi at the end of the year, I predict it would breach the million mark. Okay? O, hayaan mo yan. Dito tayo sa 300 at 3 million. O, how do you propose? Sabi, bakit namatay yan? Yung iba, pinatay tayo. You must remember, and I'll tell you, that we are now in narco-politic country. Maraming pulis, general pa. And did you even realize that the early stages of my mayorship, we had nothing to do with the killing? Because they were purging and making a cleansing of the ranks. Nung pumasok kami, yung lahat ng pinatay, either murder or talagang sinalvage o tinatalian ng plastic. And why would we do that? If you are a policeman, why would you waste your time? We are not here to produce mummies. Bakit mo balutin ng plastic? Di baralin mo nang sa ulo isang beses, iwanan mo. Tapos pati yung mga handicraft na binabalot yung victim, naka-charge pa sa... You know, remember man, I am not declaring a police action. I am declaring war. Because ako, for 23 years, I've been dealing with drugs and criminals. And I know where I come from. I have been prosecuting them in court almost every day. And when I was mayor, I was directing the operations of the police. Ngayon, ako ang may kasalanan. Look, may naman ako. Kasi inspirado ako kasi matahimik kayo. Kasi minsan, makita ko nagdadaldal. Sige, bye-bye. Kasi, thank you for actually giving me the privilege to talk first. I'm flying. I'm catching a flight. Ngayong gabi, uwi ako. 3 million. At 3 million addicts. Wala pa yung 1 million. 200 ang going rate. So, ilan yan? 3 million. That is 6,000 a month. Times 3 million, that is 18 billion a month. Times 12, that is 216 billion a month. Money that should go to the food on the table, expenses of the children, wala na. If it's the breadwinner pagkatinamaan, then the family starts being dysfunctional. Maghiwalay ang asawa, mag-away, and eventually, mag-asawa tatamaan, and then you have this horrendous and despicable crimes of rape, patay. Tamong, was it the other day? Binaril niya ang nanay niya kasi ayaw siya bigyan. And it has happened not only yesterday. It's happening all over the country. Bugbugin yung nanay, tatay, kasi maghingi ng pera. Ipagbili yung kung anong butit na lang, taguan dito yung ano ninyo. Bakit wala mga adik dito? Mawala bigla yan. Kung anong mapulot dyan, kaya nakawan. So, yung iba, and because the mind is warped, and somebody should tell you that using shabu for even at least 6 months on a regular basis. Hindi naman sinabi na ano. That's the forensic study. On a regular basis, the brain of the person, of the user, will shrink. If it has shrunk, then rehab is no longer viable. So of the 3 million, ilan ang buang doon? Ilan ang hindi mo na mapakinabangan? Ilan yung mga anak ng mga kaibigan ninyo na wala na? Ilan yung mga anak na paying, kilala niyo na paying for 300,000 medical city, it's about 400,000. Anak ng mayayaman. You try to look doon sa baba. You should try to, yung old medical city. Kita mo magsilip yan. Naglalakad. Puro bata, puro. So, hindi pa ako mayroon. Mahinatid ako dyan, at taga Davao. Na mayaman. Kaya niya magbayad. Sabi ng pamilya. Sabi ko, sige, hatid natin. Ayan ang mahirap yan. Yun na sabihin, bakit maraming patay? Nung una pa si Duterte, bakit walang patay? Pwede ako magmura sandali. Put ninyo. Ang pulis noon hindi nagtatrabaho. Ang pulis noon na live and let live. Oo, basta wag mo lang kami isali. Tawag na mga ninja. And of course, the generals. Luot. Region assigned sa Cebu. Accumulated 100 million. Sabi niya, pabili daw siya ng buy and sell siya ng bahay. Kung nagsabi siya na nagpapabili ako ng subdivision, maniwala ako. Magpabili ka ng bahay? Mag-ihente ka ng bahay? Bakit pag akyat mo doon sa pinagbibilihan mo, bayad ka agad? Ako na, bakit patay? Kasi nagtatrabaho ang pulis. Pero hindi lang lahat patayan. Ako ilang beses na. Ilang beses na. I tell you that, hindi naman ako nagyabang, but I was just 3 months old ako mayor, bakbakan. Tsaka hindi ko pinapatawad. Why? This is the time that I can kill na wala akong problema. It's all there for me to enjoy yung... Pero lumalaban talaga yan. But it would also be stupid of me to say that walang sinasalvage. But remember, na kung ako, civilian lang, o kasi nung piskal ako, pag tinamaan yung anak ko, na halos mag-utang ako sa GSIS, halos na yung mga baril ko na mga second hand na pina-repair ko, mahilig ako. Every enrollment time, sinasangla ko o pinagbibili ko. The things that I enjoyed most, I did deprive myself because of the children. Kung ako ang anak ko na rape, buhayin kita. Baski na civilian lang ako, o piskal ako, o abogado lang ako. Anak ko, rapin mo, pati patayin mo. Putang. Yung tinatamaan, yung nagpunta sa Middle East, ang nanay sa Qatar, ang isa sa Riyadh, all working hanggang kamamatay na. Yung iba nga, walang tulog. Totoo yan. I'd like to say so many words about it someday. Pero parang hindi ko na matiis. kakatulog ng 4 na oras. Kasi yung pinsan niya, hiramin yun, patrabahuin pa. Tapos yung anak pagdating, magbihis pa. So ang pobreng Pilipino matulog lang 2-3 oras tapos magising, magluto na naman. Tapos ang ganong padala niya pera para lang makapag-aral ng anak, tapos ganonin mo ang kanilang pagod. Sino bang Pilipino na hindi magalit yan? Kaya nasabi ko, the police can do it, go ahead. I will give you all the power. Gusto ninyo kayo magdala, military, go ahead. Gusto ninyo mag-take over, go ahead. You line up in Malacanang and I will swear you to office. Huwag tayo magbulan nito. Then solve Mindanao. Kaya nga tayo nagkakaroon. Yung iba griping. Well, is it wrong to talk to the communist? Na wala ng gera ngayon, wala nang mamatay sa inyo? What did we harvest in the meantime? Makagalaw kayo. And maybe if you are not destined to die this year, then you might live for another 10 years. What is wrong to talking to Miswari and embracing him? Moro ako eh. And I want to talk to him because ang sinabi ko, Nor, we have been fighting for 40 years. Do you want another 40 years? At sinabi ko sa mga komunista, and the soldiers kayo, we have been fighting the NPAs. I was joining the left when I was young. Do you want another 45 years? Kayo. Kung yan ang gusto ninyo. Because if you do not get the federal system to work, then babalik itong, I assure you, as sure as the sun will rise in the east, babalik yung komunista, nor will go back to the mountains, and we will have a problem because this time there is the looming threat of mindless violence without any purpose but to kill ISIS. When? I really do not know. But are they coming? They will come. Itong ISIS ngayon, they are being edged out of the Middle East. The heaviest fighting now is in Aleppo and in Mosul. Pag nawalaan niya ng bailiwick and they do not have the mass lands, where do you think where they go? Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Philippines. Where do we belong there? For lack of a better word, saan tayo dyan? Me? I will say to the Crenshaw, I'll fight you because I have more blood. And my son married a Wo lady who is with a Maranao mother and a Tausog father. So I look at my grandchildren and say, anak, nasa inyo ako. Malalaki na. Although I tell the mayor now, si Inday and the brothers, I cannot be with you because I can't have to have the younger ones to protect. Ganon ang Pilipinas. Ang droga hindi nadadala ito ng tapik-tapik. Tsaka hindi lang ako makasalita. At kung mayroong isang tao dito na gusto ko, maybe Joelina because I respect him and galing siya sa gobyerno de Elida. May pakita ako sa